Aloha everyone, welcome back to the Bishop Museum. My name is Hadley and Andersen and we're doing Science Never Sleeps here on this wonderful Friday afternoon. With me is Charmaine Wong. She's our Archaeology Collections Manager?
Archaeology Collections Manager.
Fantastic. And we're going to be talking about something really important to archaeology. It might not seem very important to the average person. It's called midden. And so tell us a little bit more about midden.
Midden is basically your ancient kitchen trash. It's what archaeologists love to find, but it also takes a long time to sort through. So,
what do archaeologists love about it?
It's got a bunch of things. So if you come in here, I can show you. So this midden is from the Kuakini Realignment Project, the highway realignment, and it was done over 30 years ago. I think 1970s, 1980s, and basically they ran out of time to sort the midden because there's a lot of it. So basically this is Unsorted Midden over here. Right, you can see all the everything mixed in. And what these guys are doing here, my awesome interns for summer, is that they're sorting them out. Basically, you just need to sort like with like. So anybody can technically do it.
So what sort of things do you find in midden that you would sort out?
So right here in this midden, you have charcoal, which archaeologists love to find because you can date. And then we've got bone, so fish bone, probably most of it's probably fish bone. We've got shell, we've got wood bits, some kukui nuts. Over here we've got roots, and then we've got sea urchin, more sea urchin, fish scales. We get little bits of insects, so millipedes. That's the remains of a millipede, or several millipedes. And different midden from different areas will look different.
Okay.
That's a lot of different, but it's true. So if you look at that tray over here,
this does look a little different. There's a lot a little darker, and it seems to have a lot more variation.
Yes. So these are all from the Kuakini Highway Project, but this midden is from upper levels, so 0 to 5 centimeters, and those are from 5 to 10 centimeters. But they're also from different areas in the project. So what we have here, you'll see right there you've got some bugs. Those are all little dead bugs.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we get a lot more seeds in this midden and a lot more organic material, mostly trees, thorns, roots, stuff like that.
So for people who don't know a lot about archaeology, the further down you dig, the earlier in time you get, right? So
that's usually how it works.
So this is more, since it's only been a couple inches, it's more recent. Midden.
Typically, yes.
Okay, but how recent? Can you tell?
Not until we date.
Not until you date, which is why the charcoal is such a...
Yeah, so there's not very much charcoal in this tray, but as you can see, in the 0 to 10 centimeters, 5 to 10 centimeters, we've got a lot of charcoal.
Fantastic.
So what we'll do is we'll usually have people, we have a wood ID specialist on island, so we'll send them out to the specialist to ID.
Wow.
Because identifying the tree species actually gives us a more accurate date. So once we've ID'd the species, then we send them off for radiocarbon dating.
Now, you've also told me before, so the radiocarbon dating and the tree species are really important too, as well as the fish species that you find.
So, yes.
Some of them, yeah.
So we do have research affiliates who come in with their research and basically, using our fish reference collection, identify archaeological specimens to species.
Okay. So we have a question on Facebook Live. What do you do with this stuff?
At the end of it?
Yeah. Like once it's all sorted.
Once it's all sorted, I bag it up and I tag everything. And then when researchers come in specifically to look at certain portions of it, then it's sorted out for them. So like these are land snails right here. So we have a malacologist who specializes in Big Island, Hawaiian like land snails. Then he or she would want to look at these.
Okay, great. Yeah. So if you have a biologist who's looking at plant species of a certain era, they would come in.
They could look at some of the seeds. They could look at some of the organic material.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, so let's talk to the interns a little bit. We have Spencer and Maddie and Stephanie over here. And about how long have you guys been with the Bishop Museum this summer?
A little over a month.
Okay, and have you spent the entire time sorting midden?
Not the entire
Pretty much. We have something we call Midden Mondays.
Oh.
Except for them, it's also been Midden Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Whenever we can sort some Midden, we usually throw some of that in. But they've obviously been enjoying it.
So we were talking a little bit earlier about how long you've spent on these particular piles that you're working on right now. So can you give me kind of a timeline of how long you've spent working on these?
Yeah, on mine it's been probably about 3 weeks, I would think.
Yeah, you guys, I think, started this one 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maddie just started.
Yeah, I actually just started this tray this week.
Mm-hmm.
I finished that tray last week, and that took me about 4 weeks to do. This is 3 days worth of work so far, so I'll get
like
there.
You're chugging like right along with.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick. Awesome. Oh, so for this excavation site, about how deep have they excavated the midden?
It depends on each excavation unit. So some
Okay.
of them go pretty deep, but some of them are not as deep as you would think.
Okay, what about this particular bag of midden?
I would not be able to tell you right now. Usually with the bags, when you get them, they only tell you which level they came out from,
Okay.
not the total level that they go into with the excavations.
Okay.
So I would have to consult the excavation records for
Okay.
that.
Cool.
Yeah, and each square, each unit, excavation unit, they'll bring it down to certain depths based on the work that they need to complete. So some of them could go down 1 meter, some of them could go down 2 meters. It just depends. So each one is associated with a lot of paperwork that'll tell me how far they went down, how big the excavation unit was, what they were finding. So yeah.
Okay, I like the idea that it kind of varies from site to site and depending on needs or what you're
Even
finding.
within the same site.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. I guess what are some other questions we can ask our archaeology interns aside from this midden? What is the most interesting thing you guys have found so far? I noticed you're finding a lot of the same stuff, but
Well, it's all really pretty interesting. Like Charmaine said, we've been finding a lot of fish and charcoal, which I think is pretty interesting for dating, and also for the fish to see what kind of resources they were using, animal resources, and what they were eating.
Yeah. In this level, they've actually found a lot of volcanic, volcanic glass.
oh,
So if you look at these real quickly, they're pretty shiny, and you can actually do, if you remember last week with the PXera, you could do non-destructive analysis with it.
that would be great. So you can see where it actually came from.
Yes. So if somebody wanted to do a project with the PXRF on volcanic flakes from this site, they'd be able to do it because we are finding them.
So I would have to ask with that, wouldn't it most likely, since it's from the Big Island, be from somewhere on the Big Island?
Yes. As Mara might have mentioned last week, there are 3 quarries on the Big Island.
But we'd be able to pinpoint which quarry.
Yes.
Possibly. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to share, Spencer? You look like you're ready to talk.
Yeah, just that it's pretty interesting. It's good information, good data for future archaeologists. It's kind of weird to be working on a midden that was excavated before I was born, but that's how archaeology goes sometimes.
Absolutely. I would have to ask also, just not being an archaeologist myself and stuff like that. Everything kind of looks a little the same to me. So how do you just over time get used to seeing the differences between the different materials?
Yeah. It's just a lot of practice, seeing it over and over again, and then you get to know the difference, be able to identify some things after a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say especially with that tray, with all the organic material from the trees, I separated like bark material from leaves. So
And they look really similar to me right now.
yeah, like really looking closely at everything in the pile. You get in there.
And some things actually needed some outside expertise. So we have an entomologist on staff, and we have an entomology collections manager. So I sent a picture of these to him.
They look like kind of little scrolls, which you said that they were
Yeah,
millipedes earlier.
and
right?
he said that they were millipede parts. So that was something new for me because I don't usually see something like that. But for the most part, you get very similar things, you know, coral or roots, sea urchin, charcoal. it does apply to a lot of different midden.
Mhm.
The composition might be different, but you'll see things.
So how long do you guys get to work at the Bishop Museum for the summer?
I've been working here for about 6 weeks. I've got another week to go, so
7 weeks.
about 7 weeks, 7, 8 weeks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be here 6 weeks total.
Yeah, so it's for a summer internship, so it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Mhm. And are you guys all UH students or from all over, or?
I'm from Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah.
Fantastic.
I'm at Indiana University in Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm also from BYU in Provo, Utah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so this summer we've got out-of-state students. Usually with our regular semester internships, we have a lot of UH West Oahu, UH Manoa, and then Brigham Young University in Laie.
Mhm.
So we'll have students, and sometimes we'll have volunteers as well, depending on if we can get schedules together.
Okay. Awesome. I remember I was talking to you earlier. You had 8 interns at one point.
Last semester, yes.
So if you're an archaeology student and you're looking for an internship, how would they apply for that? Actually.
We have a volunteer coordinator in HR, but we also send out flyers depending on the semester that we're holding them.
Okay.
Some semesters we're very busy, so we don't actually hold an internship. Other semesters we'll have internships because we have manpower and personnel and time to spare.
Okay.
It's quite rare.
So what's been your favorite part about working as an intern in the Bishop Museum Archaeology Department so far?
We've been doing a lot of really great projects. Midden definitely is in the top 3. But yeah, we've been rehousing some objects, working with some of the collections, and getting a really good internship opportunities. So, yeah.
So they've been inventorying a lot. They've been sorting midden a lot, at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh my gosh.
And then they've been rehousing artifacts and helping me inventory boxes. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, this is great. Thank you guys for joining us. Is there anything that you'd like to add about your experience here, or about midden? Or?
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Ancient trash is awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Charmaine. And thank you guys for joining us. If you want to tune in next week, we'll be talking a little more about, what are we talking about next week? I forgot. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be exciting, but we have our upcoming Journeys exhibit, which is going to be really exciting. It's going to be opening August 14th, and please come and visit the Bishop Museum if you have the time. If you can't visit the Bishop Museum physically, visit us on the web on our website, bishopmuseum.org. We also have a great Facebook page, which you're probably viewing this on right now. So like us and